Welcome to Transformational Thursday for the day. Hopefully everybody is having a great week. Let's just go ahead and dive right into it. I have no idea where I was going to go with this, but I'm just going to dive right in. I was doing a meditation yesterday. I've gotten a bit of a flow when it comes to my meditation. Doing a little bit of meditation work on Wednesdays kind of sets the platform nicely for the rest of the week. Gives me some ideas for Transformational Thursday. I don't necessarily have anything set in stone when I get into this, but whatever kind of comes to me, much like a Quaker, I stand up and I speak my mind. So, one of the things that we talked about last week was empowerment, how to empower yourself, how we give away our power to circumstances, whether it be our boss, our significant other, the stoplight, traffic, our kids. We tend to give away our power to become victims in order for us to actually take away the responsibility of controlling our own lives. In a lot of ways, it makes it easier for you to empower something else to make the decisions for you, because then you are at no fault in your own mind for what your life has become, right? So if you're just dealt a bad hand, it's a lot easier to cope with than you actually playing the hand and seeing what happens. But here's the problem with that. You can't actually create change from that position. You can't create change in your life if you're in a place where you're not empowered. How are you going to make change if you're not in a position where you can actually control your life, right? Power to change your life comes from this idea that you accept your circumstances. You don't give away your power to other things. I accept my circumstances, and that empowers me. Like I said last week, you always have the power. You can never get rid of the power. Much like Austin Powers and his mojo, you can never get rid of your power. You've always have it. Now here's the deal. Once you have that power and that idea to decide and to make decisions in your own life, like what do we do? So say something does come up. I know for me personally, I had a lacrosse game last night, and I was actually playing the game, and I thought about, man, what would happen if I actually played well right now, right? And I kind of threw that out there, and there was this place of like, man, I really want to play well. And all of a sudden, like, that is now present. I'm aware of this. So like, what happens once you are aware of something? Do you ever like have a time where you're like, someone points something out to you and you're like, yeah, I always do that. I got to work on that, right? I always, what would be yours there, Steven? I want to put you on the spot. Is there something in particular? How apropos. You always interrupt people. All right, so like there's the question. So like once we're aware of something, where do we go from there? What do we do? And a lot of us will do one of two things. We will try to fix that problem, or we will avoid the problem. We will try to fix the problem or avoid the problem. And both of those don't actually resolve the problem. Trying to fix something actually doesn't really set you up for success, because you're trying to solve the problem from the same place that created the problem. Right? You're trying to fix the problem from the same position that the problem existed in the first place, right? It's a bit of like a paradox. So let me give you an example, an easy way of thinking about this, right? When I was in high school, I cheated on a book report. Or actually, it wasn't a book report. It was like a test, and it was an assignment. And I basically plagiarized an entire report. Wikipedia copy paste, or it was like WebMD copy paste. And I was called out on it. Like my teacher sat down and she goes, listen, this entire thing is, I needed to Google the first sentence and the whole article came up. And I was crushed. I was humiliated. I was crying to no end. It was destroyed. And I went home and I told my dad, and he was like, yeah, it happens. And I was just so humiliated. I was standing there crying in front of my dad. I was absolutely broken, right? I was broken. Now, had I denied what actually happened, and I said, Yeah, I did it, but I was staying up late, and I had things at home or whatever. I let it crush me. I allowed it to crush me. Right? I gave myself the vulnerability or the ability to be vulnerable, and I was crushed. And afterward, I went to my teacher and I said, I want to do this book report on my own terms. I'm going to do it, and I want to actually do this report for you. And I don't care what grade I get. Obviously, I cheated in the first one, but I want to do this. Now, what was the decision that I made? My decision came from a place of acceptance of what was, and once I accepted what was, I transcended to another place that allowed me to make a decision that kind of resolved any issue that was there, right? Had I been in denial, had I tried to fix the situation, had I tried to basically scam my way out of it, I would have never gotten to that place. I would have never felt that pain. And when you feel that pain, you do transcend to another level, because now you are aware of a whole different existence of feeling. And trust me, I cheated a lot more efficiently in all of my other, but no, I didn't cheat from then on out, because I knew I would never, ever, ever, ever wanted to feel that hurt again, ever. I never wanted to be in a place where I could decide that I was going to do that again. Now, obviously, you can be hurt in many different ways, but I was like, you know what? I'm never going to be making that decision where I put myself in that place again. I'm just not going to do it. And I didn't. I promise you, I got a lot of poor grades in college, high school, college, because I didn't take the easy way out. I owned it. Now, you guys, how does this translate to you? I say this. Accept it. As hard and as painful as that might be at that time, it might break you down to your bones. But when you do accept it, trust me, you're going to transcend to a level that allows you to look above what you just did and say, now I'm prepared to make the decision to change the rest of my life. Transformational Thursday for today. Thank you very much.